Welcome dear student. Today we shall continue with the lesson number 8, useful and harmful microbes, that is microorganism. And student, this is part 4 video of class 9 of this lesson. Yeah, so by looking at the picture you can guess that we are starting today about antibiotics. Yeah, correct, something related to medicines which causes or which can cure any types of diseases. So let's see what are the antibiotics. Yeah, so let's first look about the definition of antibiotic. So a carbon compounds obtained from some bacteria and fungi for destroying or preventing the growth of harmful microorganisms are called antibiotics. So basically antibiotic fight against the diseases which caused by bacteria and fungi. So these are antibiotics. Yeah, antibiotics, a discovery of the 20th century, have brought about a revolution in the field of medicine, and even a disease like tuberculosis has been almost completely eradicated from some countries. Now tuberculosis, it is a serious infectious bacterial disease that mainly affects the lungs. So due to the antibiotics, this tuberculosis disease has completely eradicated, or it is very curable from in some of the countries. Yeah, antibiotics. So antibiotics mainly act against bacteria, and some antibiotics can destroy protozoa. Now protozoa means these are the single cell eukaryotic organisms like amoeba, euglena and paramecium, right, and plasmodium also. So plasmodium which causes the malaria. Okay, so these antibiotics fight against the plasmodium bacteria, plasmodium protozoa which causes a malarial disease. Yeah, so next is antibiotics which are useful against a wide variety of bacteria are called broad spectrum antibiotics. That means from these antibiotics many are useful to treat many types of diseases, and they are called as a broad spectrum antibiotics. And examples are ampicillin, amoxicillin and tetracycline, etc. So these are some of the examples of broad spectrum antibiotics. And when the pathogen cannot be identified, now pathogen means virus, bacteria or any type of protozoa. So when the pathogen cannot be identified, even though the symptoms of disease are visible, broad spectrum antibiotics are used. Yeah, so next is whenever a pathogenic microorganism is definitely known, then narrow spectrum antibiotics are used. That means when the symptoms are properly visible, or when we know which type of bacteria or by which protozoa the diseases happen, so narrow spectrum antibiotics are used. And examples are penicillin, gentamicin and erythromycin, etc. So these are some examples of narrow spectrum antibiotics. So student, you have to remember a difference between broad spectrum antibiotics and narrow spectrum antibiotics. Yeah, now let's learn about the penicillium. Student, this is one of the type of antibiotics. So penicillin is a group of antibiotics which is obtained from a fungus. That means it can be obtained from one type of a fungus, and name of the fungus is penicillium, right? Penicillium. And this is used, that means this penicillin antibiotic is used for controlling the infections caused by bacteria like Staphylococci, Clostridia and Streptococci, etc. So here and medicines containing penicillin are useful to treat certain bacterial infections of the ear, nose, throat and skin, as well as diseases like pneumonia and scarlet fever. Now student, pneumonia means this is a lung infection causes the air sacs of our lungs in filled with the fluid or pus. And scarlet fever, it is a bacterial disease. Mostly this disease affects the children, and which causes a fever and red rashes that covers almost all of the body of a children. And here are the images of this type of this type of bacteria, like Clostridium tetani and Streptococcus pneumoniae and Staphylococcus aureus. So okay, so this penicillium is used to control the infections caused by these three types of bacteria. Here are the cautions. Now we are using the antibiotics, but we have antibiotics should be taken only when prescribed by a doctor only, right? And don't purchase any antibiotic from medical stores without a proper doctor's prescription. And don't consume antibiotics on your own to treat common diseases. That means we have to run to the doctor only. And even if you feel well before completing of the prescribed course of the antibiotics, you must continue and complete it, so that all the infections can be removed out from our body. And don't suggest to other the antibiotics which were useful to you. So we have to use antibiotics very cautiously, and only when the doctor will prescribe us, then only we have to use or we have to take antibiotics. So introduction to scientists. Now we will see how the penicillin antibiotics has been discovered. So Alexander Fleming, this is the name of a scientist, Dr. Alexander Fleming, a professor of microbiology at St. Mary's Hospital, had cultured varieties of bacteria and fungi in a petri dish in his laboratory. On 3rd September 1928, while observing Staphylococcus cultures, he made an interesting observation in one petri dish. You can observe a image, white colored image on the screen. And in that petri dish, fungal colonies had grown, but the area around those colonies was clean and clear. That is, bacteria had actually been destroyed. And after further studies, he confirmed that the fungus growing there was a penicillium, and its secretion, that means secretion of a fungus, had destroyed all the bacterial colonies. You can observe here white colored penicillium colonies. So these are the secretion of the fungus penicillium, and these secretion of the fungus penicillium colony will destroy all the bacterial colony into the which are there into the petri dish, right? So thus the first antibiotic penicillin had been discovered accidentally, and this formed the basis for attempt to find cures for many types of incurable diseases. So student, this was all about this video. I hope you all have understood properly about the concept of antibiotic. Next part we will cover in our next session. So this is a thank you.